Hey, it's Yelling at Robots, choppering in from his remote compound. He didn't know I was going to start while he was out. It's Yelling at Robots. Yeah, go ahead. Do you have something you want to say before?
I just glad everyone got a good look at my gym shorts.
Your groin. I'll futz it out. I'll put a blur on it. Don't worry. I'll put. I'll pixelate it heavily.
Make it look like I was naked and just have dark blue nether regions.
No, I'm gonna make it. No. I'll put some. I will do some video tracking with a flesh-colored blob on there, and then I'll pixelate it, and I'll make it look like your dick is out. All right, folks, it's Yelling at Robots, episode We've Stopped Counting, Code Red, and action!
Get ready. It's time for world-famous Yelling at Robots, starring tech legend Joshua Raphael Reynolds and Ian Thelonious Fosbury. The show starts now.
Hello, Fosworth. Greetings and salutations.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I'm gonna make you.
Is it hot as balls there? I didn't ask you.
It's not. It's not too bad. It's
nice?
medium. Yeah, it's kind of. It wouldn't be like you're tucked into the taint. It's more like you're sitting on the surface. Yeah. You know, the heat really depends on where in the balls you are. Where in the ball sack are you residing?
Yes.
Two things we're going to talk about today are, one, the Bun and Rust rewrite. Our friend from, I guess, Anthropic now, right? They got acquired by Anthropic, the bun people, the bun jugglers. Finally posted a blog post detailing both the hows, the whys, and the details leading into that. It's been promised for months, finally out. And I got to tell you, I was expecting a little bit more. It took several months to get this. Like, but come on. I mean, it's like you've had several months to write this. You were able to generate 1 million lines of code in 11 days. You can't write a real meaty blog post. Give me a little more examples. But it's not, I guess we'll get into it when we get into it. So we'll talk about the Bun rewrite, and then we'll talk about all of the insane work on forward deployed engineers. The mega scalers are really investing heavily, a lot of money in creating organizations and infrastructure around forward deployed engineers for AI. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's what we'll talk about. And we have 24 minutes and 3 seconds to do so. So let's begin.
Nice pause.
Yeah. Well, that'll give me that's a nice cut place. So you're frozen. You're frozen. Riverside, you piece of shit. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, but it's probably fine. It's just buffering. Juggling buns used to be easy back when it was implemented in Zig. Talk to me. Bun rewrite.
Bun rewrite. So I want to just preface this conversation with, I haven't done any significant low-level programming in my entire career. I
Systems,
wrote
C, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did. Yep. I had to do C code or C++. I don't even remember, in first year university. Mm-hmm. I did get an A+.
Thank you for...
But that was
Good job. Good job. Buddy.
So I understand a lot of the stuff in this blog post, why they rewrote it. But I think just to refresh everyone's memory, how long ago was that PR? Was it?
It must have been like 2.5, 3 months or something.
2.5, 3 months ago. It's been a while. It's been a lot longer than we thought it would have taken for this blog post to come out. But refresher, it was, I think, maybe the largest PR in history.
Mm-hmm. A million,
in terms
I think
of lines
about a million
code.
lines. Million lines.
It was 1 million lines, right?
Yep, 1 million lines. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. It couldn't even, the GitHub UI couldn't even render it.
Yeah.
A lot of it. It was a nightmare for GitHub. But it was a one-shot rewrite the entire thing from Zig, which is what... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, just imagine my favorite is there's a junior engineer who's like, okay, it's your first day on the job here at Anthropic. So we like you to just get associated by reviewing PRs and whatnot. And then he's like, all right, so here's your first PR. I don't know. It just would be amusing. Please continue.
I do remember
Mega PR.
I do remember. Is it Jared Sumner? Is he the?
I think so. I think that's the guy's name.
He's the guy.
Jared
and he was the
Sumner.
one who also put up the PR, I think. And I remember in the PR him being like,
Jared Sumner, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is working because all the tests are passing.
Yeah.
And then like a day later, there was like merged, and we were like, whoa.
Yep. Yeah. And we talked a lot of shit about that, I think, on the show. And we will
as did
probably,
the internet. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we'll continue to talk a lot of shit. But now the details are out, or at least a much deeper, because I think the part about that made it very prone to shit talking too is like, that was it. It was rewrote Bun and Rust yesterday, merged. It's like,
Yeah.
And from the standpoint of like, I guess our minds, it's not making safe change. From the standpoint of like making safe change, doesn't feel super safe. That one didn't feel super safe.
Right.
So,
so I've only used Bun to just like execute TypeScript code as well. Like I haven't used it as a full runtime for any projects or anything like that.
Nope.
The other thing to know about, and I guess also just for context for those of you who don't know, Bun was originally written in a language called Zig, which is a very low level language. It's also what Mitchell Hashimoto and team have written Ghosty in, and a bunch of other projects. But it's a very low level performant language that is big on being explicit, and you have to manage your own memory. And the memory thing is where things got tricky for the Bun team, it sounds like. And I think that part of that is because it seems from reading, like he digs into like the problems they've had, a lot of bugs they've had to fix over and over and over. They would see these classes of bugs that were all memory related. And part of the problem I think they were dealing with, and correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, is that it wasn't just Zig, but they were also like embedding some C libraries. They're also having to deal with the JavaScript runtime. They're also having to do all these other things. And it like anywhere in the code of Bun, you might be, it seems very hard to tell sometimes, like, is this memory free? Did I free this memory? Do I free it again? Like they're having a lot of those issues, and that a lot of the bug reports that they were dealing with over and over and over that felt, I guess, untenable to them at this point were the reason that they chose to rewrite it in one shot. And because they got acquired by Anthropic, right off the top in this, the guy was like, we got acquired, and they just handed me Fable, and I was
Let me just open up my veins.
Let's see what
stick
happens.
it straight into my mainline this. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Ian, do you know offhand like why someone would pick Zig in the first place as opposed to C, or like why choose Zig as a language, as a systems language? And by systems, I mean low-level systems, kind of high performance.
I don't know, because it's cool, because he saw it on Hacker News.
It might.
No, seriously, he says like, started as a line-for-line port of ES builds, JavaScript and TypeScript transpiler from Go to Zig. So that's interesting too. I guess he took ES build, which is written in Go, and he like one line ported the whole thing into Zig.
Yeah.
He doesn't really say. I bet on Zig after seeing the single-page Zig language reference on Hacker News and getting really excited about the low-level control and care for performance. So I think it is. It might. I haven't looked at any benchmarks recently, but like I guess unless you're like a total C ninja, you can probably get some better baseline performance out of a language like Zig, because it's they've already kind of built that into the language. Whereas with C or C++, like you have to know what you're doing all the time, and maybe he didn't. I don't know.
And
or maybe you just get excited by reading a Hacker
News
News post. I don't know. I've been there, man. Come on. We've all been there.
Sure. Yeah, but also like maybe that's why there were so many problems in the Zig implementation, right?
Right.
Because
so we've talked to some of our friends, and they've said maybe it was just skill issues.
Yeah, and by skill issues, we don't mean your skill MD file was not prompted correctly. We mean you did a lot and kind of didn't know. Not like, well, I don't. That sounds too aggressive. Like we have no idea what the deal was, but it's certainly possible that. And I think Jared alludes to this, that like some of the implementation choices were not particularly suited to the language, or at least like have led to memory problems there that would not otherwise be there in a Zig implementation.
He kind of does spell out that a lot of the stuff that they had to do to keep things working in the way they had built it with Zig was like, because they're having all these like misdirectional areas of the code where they don't know what is happening with memory. Actually, like he talks about like having to maintain style guides as enforcement to try and make sure that our code is good and we're not having these problems. But like at one point he talks about like having to, if they're passing these pointer references around in Zig and it's hitting a lot of different functions, and how do we know when it's that memory is no longer accessible, or like has it been cleaned up or whatever? Like he was like, our current approach to managing this is having these things called arena lifetimes, where scope of when it's accessible is clear, keeping count of references, and then the third point is pay really close attention. Which, I mean, if that's one of your things you do to make sure your code is working, I feel like you're already kind of in a bad place. And I feel like maybe this might just be they coded themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
You know?
Jared, implement Rust and Zig. Make no mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. He does also mention the whole style guide thing, which I don't know if this is just a bit of a tangent, but have you looked at or watched the Tiger Beetle team talk about Tiger Beetle, their database and their Tiger style for like developing? There's a link there is a link to it in the
show notes now.
blog post.
Yep.
It is really good. I highly recommend everybody. It's based on like NASA's some NASA like code styling about like principles about how we keep our code, you know, clean, and conventions we have, and how we keep it performant and safe. It's interesting. And their website they made for Tiger Style is very nice. But I think that the move to Rust is a little bit more understandable for these folks, because a lot of the memory issues that they get in Zig and these errors that happen become compile time errors, right?
Yeah.
And so they know ahead of time that places in the code where this might be happening. So, I don't know. I mean, it is a bit of a meme rewriting things in Rust, like the internet and developers at large. Like, it's a joke you make at work all the time about things, but this is the ultimate example of, I guess, it working. I don't know.
The pieces to me that like is most interesting here in terms of what does this mean for software engineering and kind of for the future is, I think there is something to be said for if you can shape a smaller unit such that it's like it actually can be a black box in there, and we don't care what the agents do. Like, we don't care how it's implemented. There might be something there in terms of being able to, like, I guess be less, give less of a shit.
I think you still need to understand it, which it seems like he does have a deep enough understanding of how the differences between Rust and Zig, to be able to make this move.
For sure.
I also think that like he does talk about it in the article, like the gains they got, which is like reduced memory usage. So like the whole thing about using drop or implementing drop in Rust. Drop is like how you clean up memory after you're done. It's automatic, and rather than having to do that everywhere you're calling something in Zig, you just do it once, and it just like it will take care of itself. And in doing so, they actually like removed a bunch of foot guns and fixed a bunch of memory leaks like out of the gates, and that's cool. They also ended up with a smaller binary, which is cool. All right, so now it's smaller and it runs. It takes up less space when you use it, when you download it, and it is faster. So those are big wins.
Time will tell. I guess there's a couple interesting things. Time will tell. Is what's the Bun adoption like? Like, was Bun is Bun just a custom tool for Anthropic now, or like?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of a weird thing, because like I didn't know certain things about Bun, like I didn't as a runtime, but Alexei was telling me about it last night. But like there's a bunch of like built-ins in Bun that Node doesn't have, like all the database clients, like. There's an S3 client, a Postgres client, MySQL, SQLite. Like, it's just in the standard library.
Right.
So you don't need to worry about doing, like, importing and learning other libraries in your code. It's just part of the Bun runtime that you can use.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because that's the thing that you pretty much always fucking need, right?
Right.
Like, one of those things. And then on top of that, because it is what it is and the way it, and the language that it's built in, it's way faster than like the JavaScript versions of those. Or the Node.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, but you should I mean, like, if there's one thing I've learned through my 20 plus years of software engineering, you should never use JavaScript. What kind of dumbass uses JavaScript to build a thing? Just kidding, everybody. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. Seriously, it's shit. I'm still bitter. All right, Ian, that looks like that's our time. Yeah. We used it all up on Buns. Do you
Wait,
want to
really?
Yeah. Check the clock, baby.
Ah. This is what I get for doing this full screen garbage. I can't see the clock.
Oh, did you do full screen? You did full screen too. Also, you're frozen. You've been frozen the entire time, but I'm just assuming after our chat that Riverside will figure it out. That Riverside will be able to figure it out. I tell you what, I'll give us an extra 2 minutes if you want to talk about forward deployed engineers.
These little piggies went to market to take all your cash.
Forward deployed engineers, for me, feels like a big smell. So feels like a big blinking alarm red light that these hyperscalers who have essentially bet the farm on mega growth, and that all of this capital, like, trillions of dollars of capital expenditure is going to pay off, don't believe that it will, and are desperately trying to force into, like, look, I guess the uncharitable, what's the charitable view is dramatically changing your approach to building technology is really hard. Changing an organization is hard. It needs specialization, and you need special people who can come in and help an organization adapt and transform. That's the charitable view, right? This is hard. It needs expertise, and we think you should pay us for our expertise to help you benefit from all this amazing things.
Really quick. Sorry, just pause for 1 second, because if anyone is listening to this, they might not know what the hell you're talking about. What is a forward deploy engineering team?
A forward deployed engineer is essentially an embedded engineer from a vendor or a service provider who goes into a company and embeds into the engineering team and brings their expertise of the thing that they're trying to use to make the build out adaptation much, much faster and benefit from that. So from that regard, it's like, embedded expert, but works for that other company, works for your service provider, is also a spy within your company who has their own secret agenda.
I never thought about that.
Oh, dude, totally, man. You got a spy, and you're paying for it. You're paying out the nose for this. So the charitable view is like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fine. The uncharitable view is, why do I have a toothbrush in my hand? The uncharitable view is, folks, I can't stress enough the importance of good dental hygiene. Take it from an old man who's had many teeth replaced. The uncharitable view is these guys are freaking out and see that their customers and adoption, see all the messaging and all the things that's like, the jury's entirely still out on whether this shit is worth the spend, and are freaking out and needs to, are willing to pay anything to get people inside to continue to convince and cajole and force the adoption of these things. The last thought on that before I hop over to you is I've seen some parallels drawn to business models of the past with products like Oracle or these databases that, like, adopting this technology is such an insane huge amount of work, or SAP or one of these kinds of like ERP, these mega death systems that also are 100% vendor lock-in. And you can also draw the parallels here of like, oh, let's go ahead and forward deploy Anthropic in here and get you into our system and get you into our, it's like, and then you're suckling at the Anthropic, it's like, so I really see those parallels to, it's like, hey, we have a product. The value proposition isn't clear. We're going to just, but we can sell an executive on buying some FDEs who then will shove it into your organization and get you addicted and hooked. And then that's our revenue stream. Over to you.
Yeah. I mean, in principle, I do agree with the idea. It's like, because this is kind of how I always thought about being a consultant, was like, help a team get better, build a thing, set up good practices, and then leave them self-sufficient, which is what the Amazon Post purports. Yeah, everything you're saying, I was like, with all the context of everything you're saying, you're like, will you even leave them self-sufficient? I don't know. And secondly, now they're locked into whatever the hell you built that you probably had no incentives to build it in such a way that they could rip that system, or rip out AWS
Folks,
or whatever from that system and use something else. Yeah.
Like, these are the enshittifiers. They are not going to come in and help you gain independence and benefit from this technology. They want to get you hooked and then squeeze your dick until it pops off, and they can fry it up in a frying pan and put it on a hot dog bun and eat it in front of you, laughing all the way to the bank.
That should be your prompt for this segment. Let's see what the AI spits out on that one.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not. In fact, I mean, trust me, the guardrails, I've been using Google quite a bit. Their guardrails are pretty tight, actually.
Yeah. No, we'll get the video taken down in no time if we do that.
For sure. Oh, yeah, I've already... That's true.
And we already got one strike, Josh.
We already got one strike. I do not want to get our YouTube locked down. Enshittification part 3. Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of like these companies can't be trusted. They do not have your best interests in mind, for sure. They are definitely looking, as my good friend Ian Fosbury likes to say, the price of a brick is going up, my friends. And these forward deployed engineers, they're your pushers, and they're going to get you, they're going to teach you how to cook.
They're going to teach you how to... In AI, no, they're going to teach you how to cook. They're going to teach you how to really use that crack pipe.
They're
really
going to teach you how to. They're going to help you set up the best rig you can design.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's it. Next time on the show, we are going to talk about what were we going to talk about? The big lawsuit. That's right. We didn't have time for it today, but Apple, the giants are suddenly going to slam into each other. Apple is suing OpenAI. We'll get into it next week. Please join us for that. And until then. This has been Yelling at Robots.
Yep. Don't forget.
That's a wrap.
You just survived another episode of Yelling at Robots. Better luck next time.